G'day and welcome back to the channel where you get the latest news on RC flying models and drones and all that sort of stuff, and you get the benefit of my opinion on some of these things. Anyway, a couple of things I spotted in the news this week which may be of interest to you and which I really want to comment on. First one is a pilot saw a drone. Yes, believe it or not, that's what he claims. He saw a drone. Pilot in Ireland, to be sure, saw a drone. That's where the little people live, but he still saw a drone. He was taxiing his aircraft out onto the runway and he spied a drone and reported it to the various, the tower or whatever, and the rest is history, isn't it? Oh, the media gets involved and it's a near catastrophe. People could have died. It's only a matter of time. But the interesting thing about this particular story is that the pilot's taxiing his aircraft. Now, I would have thought that when you're taxiing an aircraft, you're probably fairly busy. You've got to check that the hatches are battened and the stewardess is returned to the upright position, all that sort of stuff that you have to do with an airplane. But no, he had time to look around and he spied a drone. So it must have been quite visible, when you're that busy to see something and be able to positively identify it as a drone. It must have been reasonably close and fairly visible. So I would have thought that even though he was a busy man, he could have whipped out his smartphone and just, got a bit of video of this drone. But believe it or not, no, there's no video, there's no still photos, there's no evidence. And as far as I'm aware, nobody else in the entire airport saw this drone. So we've got this busy pilot focused on doing all sorts of things, manages to see this drone, but all the people just hanging around and all the other pilots, no sign of a drone. I'm not saying the guy was lying, I'm not saying there's an agenda from pilots, but the facts don't really stack up, especially if you look at this report, which I'll link to in the description, from I think it's Purdue University in the USA, where they did some tests. Now, this is another one of these fantastic pieces of science that will not be mentioned by the media. Now, the media is very selective in what it talks about. I mean, we have the George Mason University study which predicted 1 fatality due to drones colliding with aircraft every 400 years. So yes, it's only a matter of time, once every 400 years according to the science. But that's never mentioned by the media because it doesn't fit the agenda of vilifying drones, even though it's actual science. We can't let science get in the way of a good story. Now there's another piece of science which is brings into question all those drone sightings by pilots, because what they did at this university is they got a whole lot of drones and they got a bunch of pilots and they flew the drones and the pilot and the other, the pilots were flying full-size aircraft and there was drones, and they just checked to see how visible drones would be. Now, some of these drones had strobe lights on them, strobes, blinky, flashy lights. Yet, despite this, only I think it was 7% of the pilots were able to see a drone within 1/10 of a statute mile. 1/10 that's 700, 800 meters, less than 200 yards away, they couldn't see the drone. And only 7% of the drones were seen. So this indicates that drones are very hard to see from an aircraft. Very hard indeed. Less than 10% of the sightings were made. So how is it then that we have pilots spotting drones hundreds or even thousands of yards away when they can't see them in these tests? The tests would seem to be in direct conflict with the information we're being given by pilots who manage to spot these things at a most amazing distances. So again, as I say, this does not fit the script, so it will never be mentioned by the media, but I've linked to it. You go and read it for yourself and you'll see just how hard it is for the pilot of a manned aircraft to see a drone. Yet it's amazing. There must be so many drones out there, because if we were to take it that there are 10 times as many drones as is reported, the sky must be littered with them. I'm surprised that we can see the sun through the clouds of drones that must exist in the space above our heads. And of course there was another report on drones, this time going back to Gatwick. Remember Gatwick around Christmas time when the whole airport was closed for over a day because somebody said they saw a drone? There was, again, no photos, no video evidence, nothing. The only drones that were actually confirmed as being seen were police drones that were sent up to try and find this other alleged drone. So yeah, and now the media has come out and said it might have been an inside job. An inside job. They believe that it could have been a disgruntled employee at Gatwick had been flying a drone around to shut the airport down. Now, this is wrong on so many levels. First of all, let us assume that it was a disgruntled Gatwick employee. Let us assume that there actually was a drone, but nobody managed to get a picture of it, and he was flying a drone around just to piss people off. Well, you've then got to ask yourself, why is every other drone and RC flyer in the country being penalised for the actions of somebody who just chose to piss off their employer? That's not just or fair, is it? That's not fair. We don't do that. We don't punish the innocent for the crimes of the guilty, but that's exactly what has been happening in the wake of Gatwick. Gatwick has been used as an example of why we need more registration, we need more rules, we need greater restrictions, when in reality, it was somebody who worked at Gatwick, well, possibly, according to the reports, it may have been someone who worked at Gatwick that caused the problem in the first place. But the hobby is being vilified and penalised as a result. No, I'm sorry, that is absolutely not good enough. But then we have to ask, is this true? Remember, this is in the media, so it's probably just utter, I won't say the BS word, unreliable evidence. It's not unreliable report. Because what may have happened, I mean, Gatwick was a money spinner for the media. The media had a field day, putting these reports up, near catastrophe, people's lives in danger, holidays cancelled. So a lot of other people were reading these reports. Eyes on ads, ching, 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 in the coffers of the media. But then, of course, Gatwick died around, disappeared. So is this just a really, really bad attempt by the media to put some life back in that old story? Maybe, they thought, oh, it could have been a Gatwick employee. There's no evidence. There's absolutely not one shred of evidence to support this claim that it was an inside job. But the media has come up with this new angle on the story to squeeze more money out of it. And I think that's probably what's happened. I doubt it was a Gatwick employee. I think it was just a case of the media trying to wring that last dollar of advertising revenue out of what was for them a hugely successful story, which was based on nothing more than allegation. It's the way the media is going. It's unbelievably bad. Yeah. So there we go. Those are the two stories that I saw in the media. But as I say, there's links in the description of this video to relevant information. Please go and check them out. If it's in the media, you can't believe it. We've already worked that one out. But do check the Purdue University report. It's quite eye-opening. And of course, what it does is if a drone the size of a Phantom 4 or whatever, I think they used was it a 3D Solo or something they used as a test drone? If that can't be seen, maybe we shouldn't be building smaller drones, but bigger ones, so that the see and avoid methodology that is behind all aviation safety under VFR rules, if we build bigger drones, it's safer for everyone, isn't it? Because you're more likely to see them, less likely to crash into them. But then, of course, bigger drones would make a bigger mess. Oh dear, what do we do? Well, I have a solution, and I've mentioned this solution before. Get manned aircraft out of the sub 1,000 foot above ground level area. Stick them up another 500 feet, make them go up to 1,000 feet. And then if anyone is caught flying a drone or an RC model without the right authority above 900 feet, lock them up. Lock them up for a long time because they are jeopardizing people's lives. But let's not Nancy around at the moment where really we have unjust responses to things and we have people who don't know what they're doing, just doing anything they can and making it completely unfair for the people who have done nothing wrong. People like you and me who fly safely, who fly responsibly, we're getting hammered because of a few idiots. And sometimes it's probably not even idiots. It's just people who have an agenda. Tell me what you think. Go to the comments because this is really important. We have to maintain a high profile. And tell me what you think we should do to address these issues. Now, as I say, sub 250, that's where I'm going, at least for the time being. And it's where I'm taking you as well through the build videos, which hopefully I'll get done this week. Yes, this week. And so if you want to build a sub 250 plane and dodge the requirement for registration in most countries, even dodge the regulations in Canada as of the June this year, then get started. You'll love it. I love it. Everyone will love it. It's fantastic. Anyway, that's where we're going. And of course, something like that, you'd never see it from an airplane, so there won't be any scares. There you go. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe and get your friends to subscribe. Get your fellow flyers to subscribe because, as many have said, I'm out here preaching the gospel to the converted, but I want to have enough numbers behind me so that if I need to go to the regulators or politicians, I can say, look, through my videos, I represent all these people. I'm not just one person. I represent all these people. And then maybe my message, which is your message, will carry some greater weight. And that's what we need. We need more weight so we can whack these politicians upside the head with the clue stick. Let them understand what's really important and what really matters. There you go. I've rambled. It was a news, rant and ramble. 3 in 1. No extra charge. Bye for now.